Black Echoes by J.B. McLaurin from Sleyhouse Publishing, 326 pages, weaves heavy metal, horror, and addiction into a pretty compelling contemporary novel. After a prologue detailing a 1985 heist gone bad, we jump to 2015, where the book primarily follows Hank Grant, the drummer of the heavy metal band Dead Children's Playground. As a guy in recovery who dabbles on the drums, I had to pick this one up as soon as I heard about it. The story starts by detailing Hank's contentious relationship with his bandmates. The guitarist and bassist want Hank to play to a metronome, and seem to be looking for any excuse to boot him from the band, despite his talent and loyalty. When Hank gets into a car wreck and smashes his leg up prior to a major tour, he puts a big-time effort into rehabbing so he can play drums and rejoin the band. Part of his recovery involves a prescription for painkillers. They help him get through the pain and back behind his drum set, but at the cost of a crippling addiction. After having a fight about the pills with his girlfriend Lisa and passing out on stage during a Dead Children's Playground show, he's down a band, a partner, and an admirer in Lisa's neuroatypical brother, Danny. From there, we get into the more traditional horror fare. After a short time skip, Hank is living a shady life, stealing power tools for dope money with Clyde, his roommate and fellow lowlife. As the jobs get bigger, Hank and Clyde end up stealing from the associates of a man whose eyes are totally black. He ends up being our big bad going forward. This book had a decent amount going on, but the pace kept steady like pop literature. I never got too bored along the way. There's a knowledge and affection for much of the subject matter here. I think people who have struggled with addiction will relate to Hank's struggles and feelings. Much of his ambivalence and despair was very familiar and not exploitative. McLaurin takes us on a journey that's accessible, but doesn't pull any punches either. Hank is a sick man who does shitty things, but he's neither a martyr nor a cowardly character. He's drawn pretty realistically. Likewise, the musical material was also either well-researched or, more likely, lived firsthand. The supporting characters here were pretty fun to be around, if a little formulaic. If there was anything I didn't really connect with here, it would be the man with the black eyes. He's presented as a pseudo-intellectual artist type, with a heaping dollop of cynicism mixed with his spirituality. That, coupled with his shelves of body parts and jars, felt a little at odds with some of the themes I enjoyed with the book. I understand the need for a bad guy, and his level of evil and physical deformity helps push the book into horror territory. But I might have preferred something a little fresher feeling for a tale like this. Also, he might have benefited from a name. After a while, the fact that his eyes are totally black kind of loses its desired effect, and reading The Man with the Black Eyes over and over only served to take me out of things a little bit at times. The style here is quite accessible. I think McLaurin is a talented writer, and I'd like to see him push things a little farther in his future work. Black Echoes covers a lot of tough topics and does a great job of it. I think with a little extra oomph, it could really nail them with stunning impact and pathos. I'll definitely be looking into more of J.B. McLaurin's work. This was an easy read, and with a little polish for typos and some more focus for impact, it would be a book I could imagine picking up on a bookshelf in any major bookstore. I think that Black Echoes falls into that King/Hendrix area of readability, and I recommend it for horror and thriller fans. If you've been touched by addiction or happen to be a fan of metal, that will add to the experience. Check out jbmclaurinauthor.com and sleyhouse.com for more info and snag a copy of Black Echoes by J.B. McLaurin. What do you think, Winston? Did you like Black Echoes?
I rate Black Echoes by J.B. McLaurin 5.5 copies of Painkiller by Judas Priest.